49ers visit Philadelphia, the early game on Championship Sunday. Mehmet 305 starts it off with saying this. Who do you think is going to win the war in the trenches between the Eagles and the 49ers? A game that is loaded with potential big butt award winners. Now, you just mentioned that the 49ers might have had some trouble with the Dallas Cowboys, and I mean, the Dallas Cowboys are not known for having the biggest butts on the defensive line either.
You're right. But they are known to have, like, the fastest D-line and do all of that, right? And I don't think the 49ers played a defense like that all year a little bit, to where that was a little bit of a shock and adjustment by them altogether. But this, I mean, Mehmet 305, I mean, yeah, and I appreciate you. You're always a consistent questioner here. Yep. I appreciate it. He's right. I mean, this game, come on. Now, the other game, we know has got some good players and all that, but maybe a little bit more about the skill guys in the AFC. This one is about the trenches. This is unbelievable. You talk about both of these offensive and defensive lines. We're talking 2 top 5 offenses, the top 2 defenses in football, and it's all based around their fronts. I mean, all of it. Their success on both sides of the ball is because they can dominate in those areas. So, the war in the trenches, it's hard to say who's going to win the war in the trenches. Now, here's what I'll say just right off the bat, right? I don't think the game plan will be the same from the 49ers as it was last week, right? I think the 49ers realized last week, wait, Dallas, as we've talked about, it's not overly complicated. As long as we can slow down the run, we're going to be good everywhere else. And that happened. This week, you can't sit there and go, well, we can play conservative offense because our defense will hold them under 20, right? There's no guarantee of that this week. So that's, to me, where, again, where I think they kept it simple and conservative to not let that strip sack fumble, something like that happen. This week, I think they're going to be more aggressive, knowing that, wait, we got to score points. There's no, as awesome as our defense is, I can't sit here and tell you that A.J. Brown and Hurts aren't going to have a few big-time connections, and they're going to have a few run plays. To where what I'm saying within that is I think the aggressiveness and the more creativity and pushing together more actually could end up making them have more plays on offense altogether, and maybe helping their O-line out a little bit more to look better than what they did last week because it was so conservative. That makes sense. You know what I'm saying there?
So that might be part of it. So, Cheese Curd 19 has a question similar to what you're saying right here. What difference between the Eagles' defense and the Cowboys' defense could let them hold the 49ers even more in check than the Cowboys? Anything that makes you think the 49ers will do better against the Eagles? So, what different challenges specifically did the Eagles present that the 49ers may either struggle with or could take advantage of?
I know. The Eagles, one, it's not Dan Quinn who's going to know some of the rhythm of the offense and what Shanahan does. I think the other thing is the Eagles are, a little bit more of a variety of defense. Again, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. Because again, it's the variety, and if Shanahan gets a little feel for, they like to do to this little variety when I get in these formations and this personnel, could lead to him drawing up some big-time plays. But here's the difference in the challenges. One, there's just more versatility in the attack and in the front, where the Eagles can get in certain D-line fronts where you just go, oh my gosh, they're gigantic, and you're not going to be able to run the ball on them, and there's 5 of them up there, right? And then they can be in a fast defense, and then it's a 4-man front and a 5-man front, and it's, one guy blitzing and one guy dropping. They do a lot of different things. They're different than Dallas that way. Dallas, the coverages you're going to get and all of that. It was just, can we stop the chaos up front? Philadelphia is not going to try to be quite as chaotic because they're going to go, we got studs that we think can just win one-on-one matchups. We don't need to create this chaos and do all of that. So that's where it's a little bit different. And, Philadelphia's defense as a whole is just better than Dallas. It's better. They're good in zone. They're good in man. Overall, it's a more expansive attack, I guess is what I would say.
I want to make sure we hammer this point because I think with all the Eagles talk, a lot of it is the offense and the offensive line and Jalen Hurts and those awesome wide receivers and Dallas Goedert and the big guys up front, too, getting all those sacks for the Eagles. But you think it's more than just the pressure on the quarterback for the Eagles. I think in your notes, one where you go, I love this Eagles defense.
Yes.
I don't think we've talked about how much or why you appreciate what this Eagles defense with John Gannon have done this year.
Well, they were so conservative last year, right? That's all I complained about. Damn, quarterback just walks up the line of scrimmage and it was like, hey, it's cover 4. They didn't disguise, they didn't do anything. Hey, it's cover 2. Set hut. Remember when we went through like some of the quarterbacks' numbers from last year?
Yeah.
Right? Herbert, Brady, all the guys were all like, it was like, damn, everyone's 30 of 35 for 350 and 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. They stopped doing that. This year, it was a little too conservative early on, but there was a few wrinkles. And as the year went on, they just became more complex. And you go, damn, they do a lot of different stuff. And damn, they're good at a lot of different stuff. And I think the thing is, one, a lot like Cincinnati, man or zone, they're great at both, right? Now where their special is, they can get there with 4, but they're not always content with 4. They're very good at rushing 5 and playing proper zone coverages behind it to protect them from big plays and doing it that way, And they're great at, also just like, oh, wait, it's a 5-man front, and here it is. It's Fletcher Cox, and it's, Linval Joseph and Hargrave, and then it's Sweat and Hassan Reddick on the edge, right? And you're shaking your head because you're going, damn, those are some good names right there, right? And we're not even talking about Jordan Davis, who's just getting back in the swing of things, their first-round pick. But then they get in those fronts, and you go, shit, we can't run the ball in that group. And then it's, oh, wait, Hassan Reddick didn't rush, and he's dropping back now. He's in coverage. He's good at doing that. Oh, wait, both guys on the edge drop. It's a 3-man rush. Oh, wait, no, there's a backer that blitzed up the middle, too, so it's a 4-man rush, but the 2 guys on the edges dropped out, and now our tackles are sitting there trying to, wait, we got to block those guys. Oh, shit, they're not coming. Now we got to readjust and try to pick up the blitzer and all that. Too late. Your quarterback's been shot and killed and dead, right? That's the second guy that's died today here on the podcast.
Right. It's
playoff
football.
That's where they're good. And they're hard to get into, to me, when I study them, like a feel as far as like, oh, okay, this is what they do. This is what they're going to do. They do a great job of changing it up. That's, hey, the Giants plays, big 4th down. They're down 7-0, 4th and 8. They rush 5, kind of play a cool coverage, get pressure on Daniel Jones, sacked, end of the drive. Next drive, or now it's 21-0 or 14-0. I can't remember one of these ass-kicking scores of the Eagles over the Giants. Now they're driving down. It's going to be the interception play, right?
Yeah.
It's a 4-man rush. Looks simple. Oh, wait, one guy dropped, one guy blitzed. Oh, no, he's not protected. Let me throw it hot. And the DB's got a good clue of, oh, this is where they like to throw hot when he gets exposed. He breaks on it, Bradbury interception. So they got it all. And this will be, I know we talked about last week being the toughest challenge for Brock Purdy yet. Well, we're going another level up now. He got a little schooling there. It was 6th grade. Now he's going to 7th and 8th grade here, or whatever you want to say. That was senior year of high school, and now we're going to college, and it's just a different level of everything on that side of the ball.
A couple here on the 49ers offense, because that's a tough chore for anyone. It was very tough for Daniel Jones and the Giants, but the 49ers have more talent, and so maybe there's more things they can do. Josh 49ers.
Yep.
I believe he's probably a 49ers fan or a gold miner from back in the day. You never know. Can't assume. How can the 49ers attack the Eagles with their run game? All right, so if they say you think you have to run to win this game, that's probably true, right? They can't have a nothing.
They can't be
just
be dropped. No, right.
Okay.
Right.
So you already made a point of how difficult that is for teams and probably the 49ers. If you're Kyle Shanahan, how are you trying to do it?
Yeah, I think that I feel like it's going to be a game where you're going to see them living on the edge a little bit more. What I mean by the edge run games. That to me, if there's this is the Niners offensive line that's been better and better, but the interior part has not been perfect all year. That's the area where I go, I don't know if they're just going to be able to go like they did last week. They were kind of simple and just went, set hut, ran it up the middle, okay, 4 yards, 3 yards, whatever. Started to wear them down as the game went on. I don't know if they're going to be able to just do that against this group to where I just go, man, they're going to get in some of these fronts and you're not going anywhere up the middle there. You're going to have to find some creative ways to kind of, like we've talked about other weeks, get to C gap, get to D gap runs, try to get a little double team on one of those D tackles. Somebody cuts off a linebacker at the second level, right? It's a very fast flow defense. I do think this is where his screen games and the speed sweeps and toss sweeps are all going to be really, really crucial to their success, to get the Eagles just to spread out horizontally a little bit. To now, okay, wait, fake the run, play action, boom, there's a little hole there. You know, the Eagles can pack it in there and make it real tough and chaotic with their size, and, you know, their linebackers are good too.
So we've mentioned all this on how difficult it might be for the 49ers offense with Brock Purdy. I haven't really touched on how difficult it might be for their defense. The 49ers defense obviously very good, number one. But it's been picked apart by some teams out there. There have been some games where you're like, oh, wow, a lot of guys are open somehow. Few and far between, but it does happen to them. And the Eagles are probably going to be the best offense, most dynamic, toughest to stop, you know?
Yeah.
Not necessarily through the passing
game. You're right
game.
of all of it. Yeah, you're right of all of it. Even in the passing game, shit, they're tough. You know, I know, you know, we've had our talks about Jalen Hurts. It doesn't mean he's still not damn good. And if there's opportunities to be had, he's going to hit them. He is. That's the one thing we know about him. He is. And they put the 49ers in some binds. I mean, they always do, of course. And we know with the 49ers a little bit, too, is it's not the greatest cover group, to where if they can get them into some of these situations that we've talked about in the past where, it's 3D zone, but it kind of plays like man-to-man outside. Yeah, I don't like those matchups for them, let alone the Eagles, like you're talking about, and like you were saying with the 49ers, they are a team that's going to understand the rules of the defense and go, wait, oh, you're playing quarters? We got some plays for quarters, right? They're going to have some. Dallas, again, was a team that just was throwing plays at the wall. I hope this one works against that defense. I hope that one. And that never works against the 49ers. Like we talked about last week, breaking this game down a little bit, you know, or the 49ers. You got to understand them a little. You can't just think you're going to call plays and move the ball on them. And Philadelphia has shown the ability to do that all year, let alone Philadelphia is going to put the 49ers in the greatest bind that I can think of off the top of my head. You know, I know the Raiders did this a little bit, but the greatest bind of like, oh no, our run game's every bit as dangerous as our pass game. You know, which one are you going to pick? Right? Now the 49ers their front seven's amazing. I mean, we're talking about two great front sevens. Those 2D tackles, like we've talked about, Bosa, the linebackers, they give them some advantages that a lot of teams don't have. And I think the first thing you talk about is the run game, right? I think the 49ers can definitely slow down the Eagles' run game. I do. They're one of the few teams in football that I actually look at and go, it's going to take a really good effort by the Eagles to run the ball consistently on the Niners. And the first thing is, hey, the power, just like we talked about on Monday. Eagles are one of those teams you can just go, hey, we're running it right up the middle. You know it? Oh, great, good, 10 yards. Oh, we're running up the middle again, 8 yards. Yeah, great. Hey, up the middle one more time. Here you go, 8 yards. They can do that. They're that good, right? But not against this group. And then you get into the quarterback design run stuff. I don't think there's anybody better suited to stop the quarterback design run than the 49ers. Two things give them a distinct advantage, in my opinion. The speed and athleticism of their DNs, right? Bosa, Ekuba, I mean, they can fly. And then those linebackers again. And where, you know, teams play these read option plays different ways, I think the way the 49ers play it is going to be more correct than maybe some other teams have played it in the past. You see a lot of teams, right? They read the defensive end, read option, right? Yeah. There's Jalen Hurts. He gets it set out. He does this. He's watching the defensive end, right?
That was something when Matt Casey was over here before the pod, and he goes, hey, remember when they played the Dallas Cowboys, the Eagles?
They did it to Micah Parsons.
And we were like, Micah Parsons. How are they going to block him? What are they going to do with him?
Right.
Well, they didn't block him.
Yeah.
They just optioned him.
They optioned him. 49ers don't do that as much. The 49ers go, they'll play their four down front. Here we go, read option. I'm reading the DN. There's going to be nothing to read. Bosa's going to go, I'm going for the running back. F you, running back. I'm tackling you, right? Now, when he does that, and, of course, he's unblocked, right, what happens is Fred Warner, who now is playing one of those A gaps in the middle, right, one of those gaps between the guard and the center and the guard, one of those two, right? Well, he's going to go, as soon as he sees that mesh, he's going to go, well, my defensive end's going to get down there and kind of take the hole away. So now I can go to their hole. And they're so fast, him and Greenlaw, that when you look at research of teams doing this, they're usually right there when the quarterback keeps it. And you go, oh, shit, quarterback's, what, trying to make a miss. Oh, I got no yards, right? Yeah. And that's where they're a little different that way because of their personnel and how explosive they are. They can play it a little differently than maybe a lot of teams in football.
You think that's a key to this side of the ball is those 49ers linebackers, right?
I do. Yes. The 49ers linebackers will be key. The front four will be key, so they don't have to get in too many situations where we're playing man on Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown. You're going to be in some of that. You're definitely going to have to be in some of that. But, yeah, that to me is a little the key of the game. How often can they get the 49ers into defenses that are like, oh, man, we can't even – see, the 49ers, what they like to do, and we've hit on this before too, where, let's say it's tight end and 2 receivers to the right and 1 receiver to the left. That nickel back likes to cheat. Remember, we've talked about that before? He kind of likes to hey, I'm out here covering, but I'm really waiting to help in the run game.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that, again, they can't get too overzealous with that because the Eagles have great answers to teams like that. Oh, you want to come in here and help with the run? Okay, here we fake with the run, and then boom, A.J. Brown, who you're out over, we're going a little bubble screen, and now we got somebody blocking, and he's one-on-one with your safety, and you're over there going, oh, gosh, I hope our guy makes the tackle, right? So this, to me, is going to be, just like the other one, a great chess match, but maybe more of a chess match based around physicality as compared to the other one that's going to be more around the skill guys, if that makes sense in the AFC.
Anthony Breh.
Yeah.
It's Anthony Breh. Hey, what up, Breh? Tweets in, he goes, if the 49ers don't turn over the ball, would they still be in a good position to win with how potent the Eagles' offense is? So, I mean, maybe there's a thought out there, playing in Philadelphia, number 1 seed, on the road, rookie quarterback, that, if you turn the ball over, the game's over. The short field, it's like what we saw last week. You can't do that for the Eagles. But he's scared that even if they don't turn the ball over, it's going to be very difficult for the 49ers.
It is. It is. I mean, Eagles are favored. Eagles are at home. You got a rookie quarterback. You match up really good, but, this is a game that, even if you don't turn it over and play flawless, you could still lose. That's welcome to NFC Championship football.
Yeah.
That's what happens. You can't count on that. So we'll see. Yeah, so I can't guarantee. I would want to say no turnovers, all of that. And they're still going to have to make some big plays in the game that are outside the realm of Shanahan delivering it up. Right, and I could say that I'm not trying to even lean here either way. I don't know who I'm picking in this game yet.
Yeah,
it goes for the Eagles too. But do I think the Eagles in totality are better than the 49ers? Yeah, I do. But I don't think there's been a team that matches up with as well as them as the 49ers all year. They're finally playing a team that's got the pieces to where you go, ooh, this should be interesting. Some of their normal answers where you can't be right, I think this is a defense that can be right a few times. Mm-hmm. And, we'll see how that plays out.
We have seen Hurts go against Purdy before.
I know,
past.
Right?
Oklahoma, Iowa State.
That good old Big 12 football.
Oklahoma won. Yeah, Big 12 football. The score will indicate
Lots of
that.
Defense.
42-41. Great game. A back and forth game. I think we have a photo of that. Here it is. Sunday Night Football tweeted this out. What did they throw for? So Brock Purdy threw for 282 yards. That was it.
I think it was more than that. Oh, okay.
Oh, 5 touchdowns.
I
that
was bigger numbers than that.
I know. I did too. I guess it was in the touchdown column. 5 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts, 273 yards, 3 touchdowns. Back and forth game. Probably not going to be a 83. Pete notes a couple rushing touchdowns in that game. Yeah. I would guess is to take the under on what they did in college for this game. And I do think some people out there, I can't wait to see how the rookie handles this, how Jalen Hurts handles his biggest game as a pro. I think that's going to be fascinating. I did this little comparison at home with Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo, because I think there are a good number of fans, and the numbers bear it out.
Right.
The offense has been better with Brock Purdy starting. Now, is that because of Brock Purdy? You've made the argument that it's the running game that's really taken off, and George Kittle has taken off, and maybe it's a little bit of both.
Yeah,
right? Brock
I think
Purdy
so.
has unlocked some things in this offense
no
that
doubt.
Jimmy Garoppolo did not unlock.
I don't think you're wrong by that at all. The biggest thing to me is just doing exactly what Shanahan says, and something we've hit on a lot over the last 2 years, just we don't see 3 or 4 what the hell was he doing type of plays, right? That's what
Which
that's
1 or 2 plays like that
is a big
game is a huge deal. But I went through the numbers. I was kind of struck by how similar Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy were. And these are from the regular season here. Playoff numbers might help Purdy a little bit. He tore up that
the
Seattle
Seahawks
defense, but he wasn't, the numbers weren't awesome against the Dallas Cowboys. But here's what it was in the regular season. Longest completion via air yards, it was the same for both of them, 44 yards downfield. Air yards per attempt, it was basically the same, 6.8 for Jimmy G. Brock, 6.7. Completion percentage, almost identical, 67.2 to 67.1. The expected completion percentage, that's where it's like what the computers think you should do.
Right.
They were basically the same, 69% for both of them, first and second in the NFL. That speaks to how Kyle has done in getting receivers in space, because even the computer models are being like, no, the average quarterback should complete nearly 70% of these passes. And yards after catch per completion, Jimmy G had the benefit, the best in the NFL, 7 yards after catch per completion, but Brock Purdy now 6.2. And so a lot of the numbers indicate that these guys are operating in the same ballpark.
That's what they are. And again, I know some people I've gotten some flack because I've said something. Brock Purdy's really good. I'm not trying to take any credit away from him.
He's better than a 7th round pick.
100%. He's showing that he's a starting quarterback in football.
Yeah.
I've just a pushback because I've had some people trying to tell me he's top 5 quarterback in the game all of a sudden. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? There's just, come on. That's all I'm trying to give some people, and I think too, he's doing amazing. And like we said, he's executing and doing things the right way. I do think he got the benefit of the team and the offense started to kind of come together right as he got in the game too.
Yeah.
They weren't running the ball all that great. And it was right around then where they started to figure out, okay, wait, this guy's our starting guard. And they got healthy up front and they became a better running football team as well. So, and again, that's not against him or anything. It's just the way the stars aligned a little bit that way. But as I've always said, there's great talent, and Shanahan's a magician. He's a magician. And that's what's cool, about the 49ers. And that's what's cool about the Eagles. It's not just quarterback. They go, wait, we got a team. We're going to beat you in a lot of ways. And when our quarterback plays good, we almost become unstoppable.
Yes.
And that's where both of them, I think, are doing lately. And we'll see where that goes. I'm so excited for this game. This to me is like, old school, late 80s, 90s NFC football. Maybe not with the, star quarterback quite yet on both sides of the ball. But, damn, the rest of it is just like, I feel like this is, 49ers, Giants, Cowboys, 49ers, just like studs galore everywhere.
Well, that's what I think makes it cool, is that you don't need that all-star pocket passer, quarterback, Justin Herbert, tearing teams up from inside the pocket. It's there are many ways to win in the NFL. The Eagles are showing one way. 49ers are showing another way with a 7th-round quarterback. One more question here from Goal Line Stand 2. He goes, hey, Chris and Ahmed, what are your thoughts on Lane Johnson's performance coming off the injury? How will he fare against Bosa one-on-one? So, Lane Johnson, which was crazy, the first quarter, it looked like he was a little, still holding his leg. It didn't look like he was 100%. I was like, oh, there's no way he makes it through the game. I guess he made it through the game. They also had another injury on the offensive line, I think, early on,
where
Landon
the left
Dickerson
guard.
had to come out.
Dillard came in.
I think Dickerson went back in, but I guess if Lane made it through last week's game, it looks pretty good for this game,
I saw what you saw, too, a little bit of, the grab of whatever there.
Yeah, early on. I was like, ooh.
But, as the game went on, I didn't notice anything. He didn't seem like he was laboring. He was dominant. The Giants, the edge guys, did they play? I don't know. Were they there? That's what I want to say to you.
Yeah.
They kind of just made sure they handled Dexter Lawrence, and they were like, the rest of our guys will kick your ass, and they did. Yeah. They're amazing. The Niners got a big, overpowering offensive line. It's not like the Eagles. Those two tackles are both like sledgehammers and good pass protectors. And then, of course, you got Kelsey and the group you just mentioned inside. It's a special group. I don't expect, a ton of problems. Again, this is where, for the first time, the 49ers are going to have to go, oh, shit, I don't know if we can just expect our defensive end to go around the game all game long. We might actually have to help them out and try to stress their protections out a little bit more and do some of that. And that's what's cool about this too. Both teams, I think, can take each other out of the comfort zone a little bit to make them do some stuff they don't really want to do on a normal basis. And I'm just interested to see what that is, because I don't know what it is yet. I'd love to sit here. I know I maybe told you more answers as far as what I expect from the Chiefs or the Bengals. This one's a little different in how I can see the attacks kind of playing out. Thanks for watching, homies. Hit subscribe to see all my unbuttoned videos. You get to see me, Ahmed Fareed, all the big player breakdowns, game breakdowns, player interviews, and my film analysis. So please subscribe. Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Peace out.